on the Women's Spirit Show, everybody. Hello and welcome to the Women's Spirit Festival and this show where I'm interviewing some of our top experts. And I'm so excited to be here with Ashtyn Monea today. Ashtyn, it is a pleasure to have you. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for facilitating this wonderful women's festival.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love to get to do this. What's your favorite thing about the event so far?
Mm, what I'm loving is that it offers a platform for women to express their unique medicine.
For women to express their unique medicine. And everyone, if you're also enjoying the medicine, you're about to be blessed by some even more wonderful medicine with Ashtyn here. So everybody put medicine in the comments down below. It's a beautiful way to start us off. And for people who don't know you yet, let me take a moment to introduce Ashtyn Monea. She's a visionary teacher and intuitive guide embodying the true feminine, as you can tell already from just this moment as we dropped in together. She leads women through profound healing, soul-leveled embodiment, and the integration of masculine and feminine energies, restoring internal and relational harmony. And she does this with a rare blend of I'm not going to be able to pronounce this word,
Vernacular.
oracle wisdom. I'm just going to go for that. You can help me. And grounded mastery. Ashtyn helps high caliber women reclaim their feminine truth, magic, and power, which is specifically why I'm so excited to sit down with Ashtyn for this interview to find out more about that, because we're in here in Women's Spirit Collective, and there are a lot of high caliber women who are stepping into this. So let's just dive right in. Why do women need to reclaim their magic and power right now?
Oh my gosh, there's so many reasons why, right? So let's just drop into a few of them. One is because the power of the feminine is so unbelievably potent that there have been intentional agendas to erase, to suppress, to limit her. But we are living this lifetime in a massive shift for Earth and human evolution. And so the feminine power, I say that our wombs don't just birth human children, our wombs birth creation to include new paradigms.
Yes. Yes. This is so good because this is why Women's Spirit Festival exists. And so many of the women here are feeling that they want to do things a different way, or they're here for healing and awakening, but they're like, I don't want to do it the old way. So tell us more about this new paradigm.
Yeah, I talk about the recentering of the feminine. And I think this is really, really, really important to this conversation because through my oracular vision, what I have witnessed is that we have been placing the wounded masculine at the epicenter of all of creation.
Tell us more about that.
When
I
that happens, we're taking the feminine out of her divine right placement because the feminine is the birther of all of life. She's the originator. So she's meant to be at the epicenter to radiate into creation. When we take her out of that divine right placement, it creates distortion. It creates broken energetic architecture. It creates the patriarchal matrix. It creates and perpetuates these dysfunctional ways of existing that are like conditioning and patterns and programming that ultimately lead to destruction rather than restoration, which is what the true feminine is forever birthing.
Do you think that that's when we look at the planet and there's so much that's broken and so much war still, here we are. It's like, have we learned nothing? Is that part of what's created the situations that we're in now?
Hugely. And so something that I offer in my teachings is my memory. So my multidimensional remembrance allows me to see through the field, through time, space, multiple dimensions, all the way back to falls in the omniverse, all the way down to earth, to look at all of these patterns and how they all connect. So I remember, for example, an impact that happened to Gaia to her firmament, so like her energetic body. And when this happened, it came from what I call the fall. We've had multiple multi-dimensional falls happening over time. And so we can look at them from Andromeda down the Milky Way galaxy, Lyra, there's been all these falls. And then it arrived to Gaia. And at that time, I was a dragon. I'm a mother dragon to mother dragons, and I was doing my dragony thing. And this impact hit her, and then it created this opening. Imagine it almost like there's architecture, right? And she's sealed and she's solid. And then this impact hits, and all of a sudden, all of the architecture comes out of place exactly. It shatters everything. It's coming out of harmony. And then we have all of these really incredible high level harmonic beings, angels and dragons. And I remember one of my friends is a puffy cloud of firmament, but she's just so beautiful doing what she does. And then all of a sudden, we're all collapsing, we're all falling into earth all simultaneously. Massive ripple effects have happened ever since then. And even what we're doing right now is to restore that. And it can't happen without recentering the feminine.
Okay, how, right to it. We're here to restore this. How do we do this? Recentering the feminine. What does that mean?
Yeah. So, I love to take the multidimensional and then integrate it into the ground level, because if we leave it all in ether,
Right. People might be like, well, I don't understand that, but here it is on our human level showing up in our lives on a
exactly.
daily basis. Okay.
Exactly. So a really simple example of this, when we recenter the feminine in our relationships, we allow feeling, which is, in my teaching, I call it base code. So feminine base code for her is feeling. Base code for the masculine would be thinking. We allow feeling to begin to be recentered as well over the mental body, over the mind. So instead of desensitizing, we're coming back into sensitizing. We're actually validating the true ache of all of the destruction. And then let's say a male-female dynamic in relationship,
Yeah.
commonly what happens is that a man's process is placed over a woman's feeling.
Hmm. And
Oh,
I mean, we see this when we were younger, and even like movies or shows or whatever. It's like, oh, she's crazy because she's a big feeler. And here we all are as women, and I know that a lot of women have it, this ache that's not personal, but it's bigger than that.
exactly.
This is what you're talking about.
Yes,
Like,
because that's not being acknowledged, right? Like it's not being validated. And yet, in every woman's body, as long as she's not gaslighting herself, she feels it.
yeah. And it makes sense that we feel like bringing that in. Ladies, if you're hearing this and you feel it, just put feel in the comments down below. If you're a feeler and you feel this, and sometimes it's something that is, it's unnameable. Ashtyn, you're actually like giving words to something that I feel and something I know a lot of women feel.
Thank you for
Not
acknowledging.
just words, but acknowledgement.
Yes, this is a huge part of what I do. I'm here to give language to phenomenon, including like spiritual phenomenon, but also to bring it down into a ground level and to validate the experiences that we have, to include as highly sensitive beings and intuitive women. Yeah.
Yeah. So back to that question, how do we recenter in the feminine? Like, how do we do that on the ground level for our own selves, for humanity?
Yes. So say back to this relational example. Say that a woman expresses her hurt. And in response to her expressing her hurt, her male partner goes into shame looping.
Hmm. Yeah, because I've experienced this as well. They just want to make sure they're like taking care of things. But then they get caught in a shame loop. And what do women do?
Exactly. So oftentimes what a woman will do is she will default to automatic responses that are based on her conditioning, which asks her to lean into him while he's looping. But what happens when she leans into him as he is in this loop, which shame doesn't come into a place of completion, it'll just continue to loop, right?
Yeah.
So when she leans into him in this way and in this moment, she's actually leaning out of herself. Who is taking care of her? Who is acknowledging her ache and her pain? So, what I invite women to do in these moments is actually begin to feel when she's leaning out, come back, lean back, go into her center, so recentering, and then asking her male counterpart to reflect the impact and how she is feeling.
This is so, it seems so simple. It's so subtle and powerful, Ashtyn. And I'm personally glad you're talking about it because we need this. We need this work. And I see it also not just with women and their partners, not with just with me and my husband, but I see it in like women and their parents or their children or their friends. Like we do that thing and we go and we caretake and it doesn't do anything. And I have personally been experiencing it, not with my man, because he's done his work over the past, we've been together for 15 years. He would shame loop and I would be like, I will come and help you and fix you and do all the things. And if he hadn't have pulled himself out of that by doing the work that he's done, like we couldn't be together because I couldn't continue doing that dance. This is mind blowing. It's validating. This is the work you do. This is validating everything. And I've seen me doing it in other areas now that I've pulled it back from him. It's getting personal here, everybody. I've seen me doing it in other areas, and I've had to over the past few months just be like, I just got to pull it back into me. So you're giving words to what I've been instinctually doing because I'm like, I can't keep going outside of myself. Is
Mhm.
that is that right? Am I doing it right?
1,000% you're doing it right. I'm over here applauding you while I'm listening to every word. Yes, because this is also the feminine asking to be met.
Yeah.
She's going missed and not being met and not being seen and not being supported. And if we lean in and say, oh my God, I need you to do all these things instead of coming back home to ourselves, it just reverberates the pattern over and over and over again. There are actually places of non-participation that are more evolutionary than participation, and this is one of them. And simultaneously, there's that deepening, like inside of yourself, where you're meeting yourself in moments where you were missing yourself.
Non-participation. This is important for women to hear. And I'm just like I'm on the edge of, wait, tell me that one again. Because this is huge for women who want to take care of everything. I'm like, okay, pull back. Non-participation. What? Tell me.
Yeah. So on the other side of this is entitlement. In the masculine side, it looks like entitlement, and that does not serve him. It doesn't serve her, it doesn't serve him. And for her, there's this automatic participation, leaning in. I'm going to heal you. I'm going to offer more than I even have with inside of myself. So I'm so depleted that I barely feel like I can exist. And then what happens? It's like the feminine goes invisible. She's out of the equation, yet she is continuously a part of the equation simultaneously and not being acknowledged for what it is that she's investing. So the feminine suppression, right? Like a part of that is to deplete women. And this connects back to women's wombs. Because in the example that I mentioned, where I was like, when she leans in, part of what she's doing is she is offering the life force that comes through her as a feminine being that arrives through her connection that is directly related to her womb.
And this is the work you do, the womb wisdom, the womb healing.
This is a part of my talks.
Tell us more about that.
Yeah. So the first talk that I did is a teaching. I love to do teachings and then experientials because I want for people to receive the very most in a digestible way, like not a heady way. I want you to receive it in your body so it
Yeah.
can be embodied. So the first part is a teaching transmission. And I think it's really important to say transmission because we're offering talks, and in my transmissions, there are encodements underneath the words I'm saying. There's energetics, so there's more for you to receive than just the words coming out of my mouth.
I'm receiving it with you, Ashton, even here. Do you all feel it? Just put yes if you feel it, because I'm like, yeah, I'm hearing you on this level, the words you're saying, and I'm also this level, there's something happening, and I'm like,
Yes.
we're waking up.
This is how we deepen and amplify, right? So you receive more. And so the first talk is the teaching piece. And by the way, my teachings are unique to me. They don't come through another teacher, another person outside of me. They don't come from books that I've read. They come from my direct channel. They come from my multitudes of naturally occurring initiations that I have had to surrender into in order to come out on the other side more embodied and alive. And so the things that you will hear in this teaching, you're not going to have heard anywhere else. So the first part
Thank
is
you.
teaching.
Okay.
The second part is the guided process. So that is a womb clearing. We're going to heal and then seal, as in create this beautiful container around your womb so that you are able to gestate your power in your womb, have it be held, and walk away from that experience feeling true feminine power in your body.
Yes. 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 Okay, ladies, you're here and you don't want to leave this interview. And when it's done, you're going to go to that magnifying glass at the top of this group, because here we are in the Women's Spirit Collective. So I'm going to give us a little bit of grounded to-dos. If I can pull myself out of the like, realm that we're hanging out in right now. Search Ashtyn Monea and her videos will come up. So you'll be able to see this chat over again, but you'll also be able to see her part 1 and her part 2. It feels like this is really important that everybody here watching, go watch those part 1 and part 2. And it's not just watch, it's experience, embody, take part in it and see what happens. I'm excited because I haven't seen them yet. So I'm going to see them come back here and tell everybody what my experience of them was as well. Okay, this is wonderful. Ladies, this is what makes Women's Spirit Festival so special, is that you can take part in these series that are inside. This is a really spiritual school over here. This is more than just an event, spiritual school. And you can message Ashtyn directly. You can be in direct communication with her and in touch with her. Like even right now in the chat, she's going to come back here and talk to you all. Okay, so those are your talks that are happening. What else? What else are we going to talk about?
Let me drop in. I'm going to mention my newsletter. This is actually my free gifting.
Perfect.
So this is the gift that keeps giving. I come out with these newsletters and they're not just write-ups. Every single newsletter has a video teaching transmission, and these are extensive. They follow the collective tides, and they also layer on like a scaffolding for evolutionary process every single month. It ends up becoming truly a living library. Like it's like enrolling in a course for high consciousness and continuing to move alongside it ongoingly. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I have an edition that's going to be released here soon, and it's about the muse. And it's about the secret suffering of the muse. And it also includes a healing at the end for her as well. I think this relates so well to what we've been talking about, because the muse to me is the radiant woman.
Yes.
Like she is the source of life and inspiration. And though that is such a beautiful thing and many people admire it, like, you know, there are definitely moments where I walk into a room and it's like, whew, there's a full audience on me just because I stepped into the room. That's the radiant woman. That's feminine power. Even when people can't give words to it, they feel it emanating from her. And so what can happen is people then idolize her there can be even like jealousy around her.
I was going to ask you what happens with other women when a woman is stepping into just her knowing, her center. Something happens in groups of women, and a lot of ladies here have been talking about it, not
Mm,
just lately, but over the years. Like there's still healing from the woman wound. Can you?
hugely.
We're going to get your free gift. Can you speak to that as well before or
Yeah,
after?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you for chiming back in. When I get into transmission, it just goes where it goes.
Me too. We're going wherever we go. Yeah.
So first I'm going to say that if you're interested in my newsletter, then type evolve
Evolve.
below. This is an opportunity not only for my free gifting, but also for connection because I would love to remain in connection with anyone here. And so I'll also send you a friend request so we can stay in connection and also my link to my newsletter.
Beautiful. Type the word evolve, everyone, in the
Evolve.
comments down below. Can somebody type it for me? Good.
And so, to your question, and this is exactly what I'm leading us into here, is that there's that attention that she receives can also turn into weaponization against her that really is deeply hurtful. And so, when we come into spaces of other women, it can be scary because there's a lot of sisterhood wounds, there's priestess lifetime wounds, there are a lot of layers there. And something that I say is the more you embody the true feminine, the more will, in a way, be attracted to you in even also a negative light.
Yeah.
So, with the sisterhood wounds, some of the way that I delineate it or I teach so that we can come out of this is to be able to detect where inside of yourself you're living with the true feminine and where you may be still holding the wounded feminine. Because where you're holding the wounded feminine, that's where like the weaponization will come out to a woman who is embodying more of that essence, whether you know it or not. It might very well not be intentional, right? But that doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. And when it does happen, there are impacts to the other women. And this is
And
a part of that invisible suffering I'm talking about.
how many of you here watching this have experienced that? Just put me in the comments, or even me too. Like it's another thing. And I have experienced that, and the impact of it, of women not being nice, it's huge. It's almost even bigger than a relationship with men, than the sister wound. So huge.
Well, the issue too is that same or similar dynamics happen. So where a woman is in like more of the wounded feminine, she attacks a woman's womb and she tries to feed off of her source so that she can look brighter in the room.
Whoa. Say that again so that I can understand it. Like, give me an example, because I hear so much truth in what you're saying.
Yes. So hold on one second, light language wants to come through. I just feel like the ache and the pain for women, right? Like just want to do like a little recentering and clearing.
Take a deep breath. This is good.
Yeah, yeah. So the wounded feminine also centers the wounded masculine. So where we think about him being in competition, she becomes in competition, not in collaboration with life. And so, something that she will do is in the jealousy, she will reach into a woman's womb, attempting to bypass her energetic and otherwise boundaries to feed from that woman's room who is more radiant in the room so that she can become a light that is brighter than her. This turns into trying to take down other women like wolves, right? Hunting her.
On an energetic level. So
Yes,
women will experience it, but externally be like, I can't see if anything's happened, but they feel it. This is
exactly.
big. How many of you watching this have experienced something like this? This is the work Ashtyn does. This is why we need this womb work that you're doing on all the levels we've been talking about, with the relationship with our men, with the relationship with others, our women, because we will do that thing that you said, we'll lean in, try to take care of each other. Okay.
Something that I talked about in my talk the teaching transmission was that when a woman comes into this level of womb attunement, which she must go through womb sovereignty first, so she holds her boundaries, right? And so in this example that we're talking about now with women actually feeding off of another woman's womb, you become so attuned that you will feel it happening in the very moment that it's happening to greater and greater and greater degrees, which is also why I say you don't want this to happen overnight, because it will blow you out. Because it's so unfortunately common. So, how do we shift this? Well, we need to first become conscious. And then we also need to work on this solidification process, right? To hold ourselves so that we're not automatically open and feeding the dysfunction.
Yeah. Thank you for doing this work. Like
Mm.
this crystal clarifying. It really truly is. And it's something that I've seen woven through so many women's experiences. Now you talk about the womb. What if a woman doesn't have a womb? Or what are we talking about when we talk about the womb? And I like it's the energetic center, but why is it the thing? And why does it matter so much? And why do you use the word womb when we're talking about this?
Because the womb is the very origination point of all of creation. It's the original source of all of life. And so when we are in a female body and we do have a womb, we are offered a kind of proximity to that original source that does differ from men in their male bodies.
True.
But with great power also comes with responsibility. And so when I was saying, women don't just birth physical beings like children, we're also birthing creations, we're birthing life around us. When we are not upholding our responsibility to that creational center, we are likely defaulting to these patriarchal imprints and conditioning that automatically sources our womb to continue the paradigm that we are existing within. It literally could not be without women co-signing and consenting on it.
Because if that's source, that's energy, it's like being plugged into the battery bank that is needed to fuel those other things. And you're saying, stop. So
Yes.
how would a woman, when she starts to become aware, one, work with you, and also like when she starts to become aware, how does she stop that others sourcing energy from her?
So that level of attunement that I was talking about, that bit becomes even greater level of sensitivity. You now have knowing. Where you weren't conscious before, you're conscious. This means that you have to step into your feminine power, your voice, your expression. You have to actually uphold boundaries and to include your feminine knowing that other people outside of you may not understand, because they may still be operating inside of those distortions. So in those moments, you have to stand in. You have to hold your knowing despite all resistance, despite anyone else's opinion. There are times where, an example, I was dating this guy. I met his mom, and during the time I met his mom, I recognized that in a conversation, she was asking me to counsel her in the same way that she had been asking him to counsel her. I knew that this was a dysfunctional pattern of enabling behavior that actually in our relationship was having to get worked out. And so in that moment, I expressed my boundary of having to step away from the conversation. I didn't explain, because sometimes explaining lessens, right, what's actually going on. It's more so I'm holding and then I'm saying, I do not participate. Now, of course, this can come up against a lot of judgment, anger, opinion, right? Like all the things are coming at you.
Yeah, we're supposed to be nice, especially with somebody's family. This is blowing my mind in such a great way. Keep going.
So then there are expectations for your participation in the patterning, in the distortions. People may act out against you, but you need to hold, regardless, your feminine knowing. That is feminine power. And that is a woman who is here to change paradigms.
Ashtyn, there's been something over the years that I'm realizing this. I choose non-participation in gossip. It's just something like when somebody's like, oh, this person did this, I will literally walk away. But there's still part of me that's like slightly guilty or like, if I'm not being socially correct here, but I have to just remove myself. And you're, again, giving me words to, this is what's happening. And it's actually choosing a strong boundary. And it's
Totally.
more than just choosing a strong boundary. There's something energetic that's happening. Am I doing it right again? I'm getting
Yes, yes. There are
validation.
huge energetics in choosing to participate and non-participation.
Yes.
And
And
so
if
at
we don't
the
say
in this
anything, we
place,
stay and we're like, we don't say anything and we don't walk away. Are we kind of, what's the word?
consenting.
Yes, consenting. Yeah.
Mhm. We're
So what
consenting.
you did with with the mother of your boyfriend, you were like, no consent.
Ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, ex-boyfriend. No consent, no participation. You chose you.
Mhm. I also chose the truth. I also chose to care for all of life. I also chose a new paradigm. I'm choosing health. I'm choosing consciousness, right? Like that doesn't always look like what it is when people have veils that are not allowing them to see what it is. And this is what I mean when I say you must hold your feminine knowing regardless. And
I
this is
love
also what I'm talking about with the sensitivity, that energetic attunement. You
Yeah.
will feel it in the relational dynamics, and it is incessant. It is incessant because most people are defaulting to their conditioning. And so you will begin to notice how, oh my goodness, there's a lot of feasting off the feminine essence.
And women have been noticing it, and that's partly this festival exists for women specifically because they can come together in spaces like this and hear your transmission and start to get it. Everybody who's watching and listening to this, put in the comments, what are you receiving from this right now? I love conversations like this because there's so much that's happening on a deeper level. There's so much that's awakening in my own heart and the hearts of all of the women in this collective. And you are putting it into words. And it's beautiful, Ashtyn. Thank you for doing the
Thank
work that you're
you.
doing. How did you, I know you probably talk about it in your talks, but how did you come to be doing this? Have you always been an open channel? Have you always had this? Like, what's your story? And we're running a little over, but this is a deep conversation. I can't stop it
I'm in the
yet.
flow. Let's keep it going as long as we need to. Actually, this is something that I didn't get to talk about in my talks, because I really wanted people to receive from the teaching and the guided process. And so I love that you asked about me and my journey of arrival. So I did arrive as a very advanced soul. I have a lot of lifetimes on and off of Earth. I'm crazy ancient. Like I literally remember the original womb and my birthing process into creation itself. And so, yes, I did, of course, arrive with that to some degree in a child's body, though. You can't always process what you know, what you see. And of course, we enter into this earth plane where there's a lot of conditioning to include institutionalized education is a great example, right? It'll just like strip you straight of your memory. I did not grow up in a family that could reflect to me my essence. I'm a high alchemist, like a lot of us, I'm assuming here. We may have entered into really karmic, heavy, loaded families. So there wasn't something outside of me reflecting to me who I was or what I was here for, which of course inevitably asked me to go deeper, 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 deeper internal. But when I was young, I remember one, I remember a lot of magical stuff I was doing, but the other part of this is that I was studying relationships constantly in the field. I was studying relationships all of the time. I started to actually study relationships in elementary school. I went on to study psychology because this in the paradigm was like accepted, right?
Closest you could get to being able to like really do the awakening work you're doing.
Right.
Right.
But where that arrived from inside of me is actually I can travel unconscious and subconscious patterning. I can travel it energetically. I can see it all the way to the root. And so there was a deeper thing, of course, behind my interest in psychology. I went to get my undergrad in psychology. I inevitably led into a master's degree in marriage and family therapy. My intention was, I'm going to get this license till they take it away from me.
Ah, okay. And now you're doing this work. Like what a beautiful, like all the way full circle almost.
Yes, and along the process, I can't get into all of it, right? But I have had really high alchemy relationships as well. So like life has brought me particular opportunities so that I would get the life experience to walk my way through. And so in the very two last semesters of marriage and family therapy, it was like life kept being like, no, Ashton, you cannot finish this. This is not the way. There was so much pressing going, this is not the way. And I just like, my human was so attached. She's like, we have invested. You don't understand what it's like to be down here. you know?
Money and the security, and everybody's expecting us to do it.
Exactly. And then I'm shortening this way up, but synchronistic events led me to being ejected from that master's degree. And as soon as that happened, it was like, okay, the doors opened up. Whew. I could receive my path, my purpose so much more clearly and deeply. While I was in my master's degree, I had already started my business. At the time, I was calling it transformational coaching. And part of this was because when I went to do my residency, you observe other practitioners. And I recognized there was a major difference in what they were offering and what I was offering, and what people were receiving from them and what people were receiving from me. And the potency of what I offer could not be offered inside of a counseling paradigm. It's not possible. So I had to follow the call of my soul. I mean, it really like forced me into it in certain ways, right? But as soon as I knew, no, I feel it fully, truth has arrived into my body. I have to let this go. Doors opened wide up. I sold my home. I had a home business as well. I let all of these things go. And I started receiving a lot of multi-lifetime remembrance, like a lot.
Willingness, or even if it was a question, that you let go of the path that you thought you were going to be on or that you originally placed yourself on. How many of you listening, watching have had that? Tell us in the comments. We want to have a conversation with you all as well. And you followed it, and then things start opening up. And here you are doing
Huge.
work. Yeah.
Hugely. And then it's like, okay, well, now my time is not being given over to a marriage and family therapy degree, which by the way is completely old paradigm. It's going to deplete you. It is so depleting. I'm not like saying counseling isn't beneficial, but when you are going into it as a profession, it is based on an old paradigm of depletion.
It
It
is, and so many people don't do it for life because they get depleted or they tune out in some ways. So the work
Yes.
that you're doing now is created by what's emerging from you.
Yes.
That's new paradigm.
Each and every moment, because there is something emerging through me in each and every moment.
Oh, this is beautiful. I'm so glad that I got to meet you and that you've come into this community, because there's so many more conversations we get to have, and not just conversations, but whatever else is happening, this evolution that's happening as we speak.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel so blessed to be here, so blessed to have come into contact with you, so blessed to be a part of the Women's Spirit Festival, like so blessed to have this conversation. I love having conversations. Conversations are my favorite.
We could just sit around with a cup of tea and have great conversations and like lounge. That's my favorite thing to do with people. Is like, let's go in. Like
Deep.
let's explore together. Deep, real. This is really fun. I'm glad that we got to do this. And this is just scratching the surface. Ladies, I gotta wrap this interview up. This is so much fun and ah nourishing. And I can feel the nourishment over here and how it's going to be extending to the women in this community. Everyone, if you've enjoyed this sweet moment, just put something in the comments. What are you taking away from this? What's being revealed in your own hearts? And Ashtyn, tell us one more time, how they can get your beautiful gift. What was the word?
Yes. You will want to type evolve. Evolve.
Evolve. And when you put the word evolve in the comments, everyone, you're going to be able to stay in communication with Ashtyn. You're going to receive her amazing teachings, transmissions.
Newsletter, monthly newsletter with teaching
Yeah.
transmissions. Yep.
It's wonderful. So you're going to be able to stay in touch and receive that. Put the word evolve in the comments down below right now. And friend request her. And you also know what to do. Look her up, magnifying glass in this group. And continue the conversation, everyone. Women's Spirit Festival is here happening, but the collective stays open year round. So here we are creating a new paradigm for women around the world. Ashtyn, what do you want to leave everybody off here with?
Hmm. I hope that just by spending time here, you've felt some shifts, like within inside of yourself, within inside of your body, maybe deeper understandings of even your feminine power and also responsibility. We are all incredible beings in this space, and I want for your particular medicine and mastery to really emerge in its full potency. And in order to do that, it really necessitates your willingness to hold your sacred boundaries.
That's where it begins, ladies. Your medicine, your mastery coming through. Hold our sacred boundaries. Ashtyn, thank you so much for this beautiful reminder, this incredible conversation. And ladies inside the Women's Spirit Festival, if you know somebody who needs this, who needs to drop into their own sacred boundaries, point them to this. Like press that share button. They have to be a member of the group to see this, but press that share button, invite friends, sisters, colleagues, daughters, invite people to this group who you know are going to benefit from these conversations and seeing all of Ashtyn's work here inside of Women's Spirit Festival. Oh, thank you for making this wrap up to my day absolutely beautiful. Really, really appreciate our conversation.
Same. It has been so amazing. I've really, really enjoyed myself.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna hang out for the rest of the evening, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye, and thanks again, Ashtyn.
Bye.